Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 5th of October. So over the weekend we've had quite a bit of interesting news come to light. Mr. Trump, obviously we heard late last week that he was diagnosed with COVID-19. He was admitted to hospital over the weekend, and that was set for a great deal of uncertainty and volatility for the markets on the open. Having said that, his somewhat controversial sort of outing on Sunday has put paid to some sort of stability, that he is doing sort of fairly okay. So the markets have opened sort of fairly stable this morning, and on top of that we have other sort of issues to focus on this at the beginning of this week. Not to mention in Brexit land, I believe it's about sort of 11 days now we've got left of sort of hard negotiation between the EU and the UK to come up with some sort of final Brexit agreement. So all eyes and ears will be open on that news flow, and of course with Mr. Trump's progress as well. Now, before we get into the markets today, I just want to highlight the changes for Wednesday. So Wednesday we're not going to be running a newsletter as we normally do. We're going to continue to run the live streams and the live sessions. So next Wednesday at 9 o'clock UK time, we'll run about half-hour live session on YouTube. Take a look at the link below and you'll be able to schedule set yourself a reminder for that event, and also it's the same link to join. Okay, so let's have a look at the markets here and a few opportunities that we're looking at the beginning of the week. So the dollar has opened up sort of weak today, and we're looking here for the opportunities on weak dollar markets. The Swissy here is again one of the strongest markets at the moment, so we're looking for opportunities on dollar Swiss. You can see here on the higher time frames on the weekly that we've got a nice sort of short trend forming here. Again, if we sort of break below last week's low, this sort of big sort of sell-off candle here, if we get below that, it does open up the market here for a bit of more of a continuation to the short side. If we have a look at the daily time frame, you can see that on the daily trend is almost completely the opposite. So now we've sort of got the formation of a long trend here, and it would certainly be interested in buyers being above the 92 and above these highs of these sort of previous candles. If the market does get above there, then the opportunity that we're looking at from a short perspective will be void. But what we're looking for is opportunities short if the market gets below these daily lows here on the daily time frame. So below these levels, it's around 9163, 9160, that sort of area there. So that would invalidate, if the market got below those, it would invalidate this as a potential long anyway. If we come down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see what we're looking at. On the 4-hour, we've got a short trend forming. We've got a level here that's sort of 9164, 9163, that sort of area. You'd want to get look at entry positions underneath these lows. I'd want to see those cleared first, but it does open the window up here for quite a sort of reasonable continuation to the short side. And remember, this is not just a sort of a setup on the 4-hour time frame. It would also be confirming that continuation of that trend on that weekly chart as well. So we're rather liking and keeping an eye on dollar Swiss to the short side. Again, dollar weakness across the board at the moment is another theme that we're looking at. If we come and have a look at the commodities here, silver is a market that we're keeping a close eye on too. So between the precious metals, gold and silver, I think most of you know that silver is one of my most favorite at the moment. If we take a look at this on the daily time frame, we can see that the market is back into a sort of key sort of decision point area. Now I've marked the level in here on the daily time frame around 2375. I think realistically the big round number here is around 24,000. It doesn't quite line up with the best support and resistance on the COMEX future, but again, between the COMEX future and the CFD prices, I think that sort of key number is around that 24,000 level. But From a technical perspective here, we've got a range. You can see that the market has sort of been compressing into that sort of range, and I think we could get a sort of a move significantly sort of either way. Personally, I'm quite liking this and keeping an eye on this for opportunities to the long side. If we come down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see a sort of bit of a level here on the 4-hour around that sort of 23.73, 23.74, but you see the sort of construction here around there. So those lows, I think, to the short side, if the market takes those out, then we've got 23 sort of 28, and then below that moves to the short side, probably be down to 22,500 and down to the lows at 22. But more interestingly, I'm liking this to the long side. I've often been talking about looking at moves here for the continuation long, and the sort of thing that I'm looking at here is just above these highs. You can see if we put a level in here around 24.30, 24.31, you can see that we've got these previous lows, these previous highs. That takes that out. We could be looking for a window up there up to around that 26 price point. So there's quite a significant move to the long side, potential sort of move to the long side if we can get above this sort of area. Stuck within this range, it's going to be sort of rather challenging to pick up any sort of trends there, but getting out of those ranges is where I'm looking at. So coming back to let's have a look at the Dow first here. Now, index markets on the open, they have opened rather bullish, and they've had a bit of a flurry of activity in early trade today. They're starting to come off a little bit here, and again, with so much sort of uncertainty, it could be a bit of a rocky ride for these markets at the moment. From a higher time frame perspective, these are starting to look sort of a little bit more interesting again, but if the market breaks above and continues higher. Now, the high here on the weekly is that 28,000, or give or take a little bit of change. So quite a significant level capping prices at the moment, and also quite a significant level finding support at the bottom end as well. So 27 to 28,000 are the key levels here on the macro picture for the Dow. If we come down to the lower time frame slightly and take a look at this on the daily, we can see that it's been quite a volatile time over the past sort of few trading sessions. Again, we've got some intraday moves, and we look at intraday opportunities in between these sort of trading windows. Again, at the moment we're in between a trading window. We've got that 27.9, 27.800 here as the levels to the long side. Again, getting up here above these levels is where we're sort of really starting to focus, so it opens it up to more of a move to the long side. However, these markets could change either way, and it depends on the news flow, and that there's news topics at the moment which could create a huge amount of volatility in either direction. So it's very much going to be trading the direction of the day and scaling out and keeping out of these markets overnight. That's the plan that we're looking at for index markets, particularly the Dow on these at these times. So there's a few markets that we're keeping a close eye on going into the beginning of this week. I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you on Wednesday. Bye for now.